Hello, welcome to another open lecture. Today I wanted to talk about toxic obsessions and liquid desire. I think a lot of people's relationships with each other can stem from this concept of liquid desire, where in the reality that a lot of people now live in, which is in cities and in this very fast paced, precarious existence in terms of jobs, and the commodification of almost everything, and the convenience and the disposability of almost everything as well, also finds itself having influenced the relationships that people have between each other, and the advent of social media has made this even more pronounced than it already was. I think now that we can unfriend people and block people, and that we can meet people in on apps or things of this nature, and then have our way with them, either as friends or as sexual partners or other things, and then they can be easily disposed of. I think, unfortunately, gives our society more of a atomized and hyper individualistic hue and tone, which lacks in the realness, the real honest soul feeling type things, which only now it seems exist in a form of simulation, a kind of illusion of the perception of what it meant to be soulful, for example, or to have this sort of deeper connection. And I think, therefore, people are led down paths of, especially on social media, towards a concept of psychological nudging, which is a marketer's concept. So you know if it's from the marketing agencies, it's probably pure evil. But and I think it leads to a efflorescence in the last 5 years or so, especially, of kind of toxic obsessions, that of which I find myself having had partaked in, not because I thought that somehow I could get myself out of it, or that I wasn't, or that somehow I was immune from its effects, but simply because I felt organically that that's what happened. But I suppose, in retrospect, I do realize that I was, as it were, psychologically nudged. I was forced or pushed through very subtle machinations of algorithm, of corporate interests, marketing campaigns. It's almost subliminal, like almost a psych ops in a way. In a way, it's not as dramatic as that, but there is this coda to it, and I think the thing is that in order to get over it, one has to begin to dismantle the apparatus around which you find yourself kind of addicted, if you are honest, with social media, for example. But I think almost all of this drama, a lot of people, either online or offline, there's a sort of reason for existence amongst all the noise and the detritus of the ritual of everyday life, the meaningless work, the wired, the wide cast of love affairs, and all the necklaces of friendships, one after another, the tension held in the body, and the fragmented dreams of glory and of sordid desires, I think, all seem to come from this place and seem to be hyper enlarged by it, by this, as if it was like a megaphone. And I find this to be something which is making things less real, and less kind, and people are less kind and sincere, and they're less sweet, and also they're less calm and stoic. They're more prone to emotional flashes and impulsive desires and addictions. And I think a lot of this comes from this fragmentation that has happened and is happening. and doesn't allow a long time to think and reflect and to actually honestly feel. It's more about these kind of toxic obsessions, and this kind of reality or a landscape of liquid desire, as if you were on the sea and you're all in your individual little boats, and you sometimes go into each other's boats, but most of the time you're by yourself, and so it's rather lonely as well. But I think a way outside of this and a way to transcend it is to embrace your creativity and to embrace to a certain degree who you were and how you were as a kid, as a child, a boy or a girl, and go from there. And as always, try to be who you were before the world told you who you had to be. But yes, thank you for listening, and talk to you next time.